Hi there. So today what we're going to be making is, here I'll show you the finished product. We're going to be making this book index, and this is going to have full CRUD functionality. So CRUD stands for create, read, update, and destroy. So we can add a book for the create. You can add a title and an author. And when you press submit, it'll be added. We'll be able to read, so we'll be able to see all the books inside of our database, and also we'll be able to see single books within our database. We'll be able to update, so we can change either the title or the author, and it will update right here, and then we'll be able to delete, and it will remove it from our database. Okay, let's get started. I have created here just an empty folder. I called it Book Index API. You can call it whatever you would like. Within that, and I've opened it here in Visual Studio Code. Okay, so I'm going to create a new file, call it app.py, and there is our Python file. Okay, I'm going to need to install some stuff. I'm going to open up my terminal, and I'm going to install pip-env. So pip-env install, that's it. Okay, so now pip-env is on there. Now we're going to do pip-env, sorry, I need this one, pip-env install flask. All right, pip-env install g-unicorn. That's going to help us in Heroku. Pip-env install flask Heroku. That's also going to help us with Heroku. Pip-env install flask -cores. That is going to help us work with cores on our browser. You can see every time I install a dependency, it's going to be added into our pip file. Next, we're going to do a pip-env install psycopg2, and that helps us work with our database, helps attach our database to the app. Okay. And last one, pip-env install flask-SQL alchemy. And it's important that we have the capital SQLA. Cool, cool. All right. Now that I've installed that, let's go into our app.py file, and I'm going to make some imports. I'm going to say from flask import flask request and JSONify. There it is. From flask _SQL alchemy, and that is lowercase. Import, now this one is uppercase, SQL alchemy. Make sure that your autocomplete doesn't change it. From flask _cores, import cores. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing, cores. There we are. And then from flask _Heroku, import Heroku. Awesome. Then what we're going to put is we're going to say app. We're going to set that equal to flask with a dunder name. My second dunder. There we go. Cores. I'm going to put an H on cores for some reason. App There you go. And then app.config. And that is going to have square brackets afterwards. And make sure that inside of these quotation marks, you have capitals, all capitals. Otherwise, it will cause a problem. So SQL Alchemy underscore database underscore URI. That's going to be set equal. Right now, we're just going to set it equal to an empty pair of quotation marks because we don't have that yet. All right, we're going to set Heroku equal to Heroku passing in app. And DB is going to be equal to SQL Alchemy passing in app. All right, now we can start creating our table now that we have a lot of this set up. So to create the structure for our table, we're going to make a class, call it book with a capital B, db.model. I spelled that wrong. Model, there it is. All right, and here we're going to have dunder table name equals books. And then inside of our table, we're going to have an ID, db.column. Make sure that's a capital C. And inside that, we're going to have db.integer, where the primary key is equal to true. There it goes. Okay. And then we're going to have a title and an author. So title equals to db.column, passing in db.string. And we're going to say each title can have 120 characters within it. So we're adding a limit there. Then the author equals db.column, db.string. And we are not going to set a limit for that one. We're just going to say it could be as many characters as it wants to be. Because if someone has a super long name, longer than 120 characters, then we wouldn't want them to have to shorten their name, right? Okay, we're going to create a function after this. It's going to be def dunder init. And that is going to be passing in self, title, and author. And that is going to be, after that, self.title equals title. And then self.author equals author. I'm going to add another function, def dunder repr. I don't know how to spell anything. There it goes, repr, passing in only self. And this is going to return some string interpolation. Title, self.title. There we go. Cool, cool. Now at the very bottom, and this will always be at the very bottom, otherwise your app will not run. We have to say if dunder name equals dunder main, then we want to do app.debug equals true. Then app.run. Just like that. Okay, now let's see. Well, I'm going to also add one route for our home, just so that we can check to make sure that our app is running, that we can run our app and see something on the screen. If we don't have a route, then we're not going to see anything when we run it in our browser. So I'm going to say at app.route, and it's got to be the home route. That's what that slash means. We're going to say def home, not passing in anything. And then we're just going to return some HTML. We're going to return an h1 tag. that says, hi, whoops, hi from Flask, and then close that h1 tag, just like that. Okay, now if we come down here, we have to make sure that we're in our shell, pipenv shell. Okay, and now we can do a Python app.py, and that's going to build up our compiler. All right, let's see. Cannot import Flask from Flask Heroku. Did I? Let's see. Yes. So my autocorrect changed that to Flask Heroku. It does that sometimes. It's a little annoying when it tries to help you, but now it's good. So let's try that again. And here we have it running. I'm going to open that, bring it over, and there we have it. This is hi from Flask. We know that our app is now running and working, so we can continue on. Okay, so continuing on, I'm gonna stop this for right now. We need to hook it up to our Heroku app where we're going to connect it to a database. So we need to do a git init to start up our git. And then we're going to do a git add all. The period means adding everything to git. And we're going to do a git commit -m, and we're going to call this the pre-Heroku commit. Okay, yep. And now we're going to do a git, no, we're going to do a Heroku create, and I'm going to call this book index API app. And if that one's taken, if it doesn't let you do that, then you can put your initials on it, or you can name it whatever you want. Press enter. I'll give you a little warning, but this means that it worked. So if we come up to Heroku, let me bring it over. I have my Heroku here. Here is my book index API app. I'm gonna open that up and we're gonna go to resources. Inside of resources, I'm going to search for Postgres. And we want the Heroku Postgres. If we click on that, we're gonna do the hobby dev because it's free and I'm all about free stuff, but if you so desire, you can do pay a lot of money for a better, faster database. But free is good for what we're building right now. So we're gonna provision it. All right, now we have Heroku Postgres attached to our database, or attached to our Heroku app. If we click on this little box, it's gonna open up the database. And it's gonna take a while for some reason. Here we go. We're gonna go over here to settings. We need to grab that URI. So view credentials, and here it is, the URI. Now I'm not gonna dim any of this out because I am going to delete this app after I record it. I just wanted you to know where it was. This is something though that you will want to keep secret. You don't want anyone having access to this URI here. Okay, move that over. And bring it in. We're gonna fill this empty quotation mark here. Put it in. And there we have it. Okay. Now we can instantiate our database with this code in here. So we're gonna come down into our terminal again and just type in Python. We're gonna go into our Python REPL. Make sure you have your 3 little arrows here. And we're gonna say from DB import, no, from app import DB. From app, which is referring to our app here, import DB. Okay, we might get a warning, but I'm gonna do db.create, create_all with parentheses. And it may take a moment. There we go. If we get no news, then that's good news. That means it created our database. It's instantiated now, and we can move on with our backend, creating our routes. So I'm just gonna get out of my REPL here and move this down. All right, let's create our post. So our create in our CRUD. We're going to do that. We're gonna create a route saying @app.route. And our route here is gonna be book/input. That's what I'm gonna call it. And the method is gonna be equal to square brackets post, right there. Under that, we're gonna say def books_input, creating our function. Nothing, no arguments or anything. And then we're gonna have an if statement. If request.content_type double equals application/JSON. So if it's going to be application JSON, then we want to do all this stuff. We're going to say post_data, set that equal to request.get_JSON. And title is going to be set equal to post_data.get title. Author, we're going to do the same. Set equal to post_data.get author. All right, now we're going to set a reg. It's going to be equal to capital B for and book, because we're referencing this class up here. So capital B or capital book, passing in title and author. All right. db.session.add reg and db.session.commit. And so if that all goes right, then we're going to return JSONify data posted. And if it all goes wrong, we're going to return something went terribly wrong. Okay, let's test this out. We're going to get our compiler running again. So python app.py. Okay, that all looks fine. And now I'm going to open Postman. So Postman is a way to test out your database without having to build a full front end to connect it to. It's really, really useful. I use it all the time. I'm going to create a new tab, and this is a post request, right? Because we're doing a post. So I'm going to change this get to post, and we are going to grab this URL here. So I'm going to copy that. That's where our app is running right now locally. And paste that in. Now we have to do our route. We have to, this route that we created, book/input, we have to grab that. Go back into here and paste it at the end. So that is the route for our post method. We have our URL/book/input. Okay, we're gonna come here to body, make sure that we're doing raw and JSON, because that's what we indicated that it was going to read, was JSON. Now, to add this in, we're going to curly brackets. Curly brackets. We have our title. I don't think it, yeah, undercase title. And the title is going to be, let's do Harry Potter. It's a good choice, right? And then we have our author. And the author for Harry Potter is J.K. Rowling. Yeah, I think I spelled that right. Okay, so we have our title, we have our author. Let's see what happens when we press send. and data posted, so it worked. Everything worked. Okay, we can move on now. Let's see if we can get all the books within our database, which is 1 at the moment. But we're going to create another route for that. We're going to say @app.route, and in there our route is going to be /books with a method of get. There we go. Okay, have our function be return _ books, plural. It's going to be nothing in the arguments. And then we're going to set a variable here, all _ books, set it equal to db.session.query books with a capital B, book.id, book.title, and book.author, just like that. And we're doing a capital B because remember, we're referencing our class up above, and that is spelled with a capital B. After that, we're going to say all with parentheses. Then we're just going to return JSONify all _ books, just like that. And that's all we need to do for that. Let's test it out. Make sure that your compiler is running, because it does stop while you're coding a lot of the times. Okay, so it's working. Go back into our Postman. I'm going to create a new tab for the get. I'm going to grab our URL, paste it in, and then grab our route here, which is books/books, and then paste it behind right there. Okay, and we don't have to do anything in here. We can just press send, and we have our book. So there's our index number that gets created automatically. We don't have to do anything for that. Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling. Awesome. So I'm going to come in. I'm going to pause the video and add a few books. Maybe so we have about 4 or 5. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so here, let me press send. Here I've created a few books. I only have 4. We don't need very many, but we're going to next create a get request where we can get just one of the books depending on which ID number we pick out. So we can pick out, if we wanted Way of Kings, then we would put in number 4 and it would just bring back this Way of Kings book. Okay, coming back into our code, I'm going to create a new route @app.route, and I'm going to call this one /book singular, and then we're going to add a less than sign, ID, and then a greater than sign, just like that. And that's going to be, we're going to have our methods equal get, and then we're going to have our function def return _single _book, and then this one is going to have an argument. We're going to pass in our ID because we want to pick out that one book. And we're going to say one _book and set it equal to db.session.query capital book.id and book.title and book.author, just like that. We're gonna filter them. .filter book. Let's try that again. Filter book.id, and that is going to be set equal to ID. My fingers don't want to type. We're going to have a first at the end. Then all we need to do is return JSONify one _ book. All right, let's test it out. Make sure that our app is running. Looks like everything is running correctly. I'm going to create a new one here, grab our URL that it's running on, paste it in. We're already on our get, so we don't need to change that. And then we have our, it's /book/ID number. So /book/ and that I wanted that Brandon Sanderson, and that was number, no, that was 4. Was that 4? Let me double check. Yeah, 4. So don't need to do anything down here. We just got to press send. And there it is, the Way of Kings. We only have that one, the index number 4. Cool. We're trucking right along. So let's learn how to delete a book. Let's say that I created a book in my post, but I accidentally spelled his name wrong. And that is annoying, right? So we have, let's see. Yeah, we have our misspelled one here, and then we have 2 Way of Kings. Okay, let's now create our delete route. So if we wanted to delete a record like that one where we spelled Brandon Sanderson's name wrong, we could say app.route, and then our route is going to be delete / and we're going to pass in our ID with methods equals delete. All right, now our function def book_delete, and that's also going to pass in our ID because we don't want to delete all the books, we just want to delete one specific one. So we're going to pull out the ID for that. We're going to create a record. Let's set that equal to db.session.query, capital B for book, and then .get ID. Cool. And now we're going to have our db.session.delete record, db.session commit. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. Now we're going to return JSONify deleted. Cool. All right. Okay, so let's make sure that our app is running. Mine is. Come in here. We're going to grab our URL. Paste it in. We want this to be a delete request. And then our route, I think it was, yeah, delete /ID. Delete /ID. And the ID number we want is this 5th one right here. Number 5. So if we press send, it was deleted. And if we come in here and do another GET request, then you can see it's gone now. It's gone. Cool. Now we just have one more thing to do. We need to be able to update it. So maybe we did just misspell something and we didn't want to recreate the whole record again. We could just do an update. So at app.route, and it's going to be /update _ book / passing in our ID. Our methods are going to be put. We have our function book_update, passing in the ID because we just want to update one book. Then we're going to have an if statement. If request.content_type is equal to application JSON. Then we want to have a put data set equal to request.get_JSON. Title is equal to put put underscore data dot get, and we're going to get the title. So I cannot spell today. Same thing with the author. All right, now we're going to have another record set equal to db.session dot query book with a capital B dot get ID. And then record dot title is going to be equal to title. Oh, I spelled record wrong. Record dot title is going to be equal to title. Record, geez, record dot author is equal to author. And then db dot session dot commit. And if that all works, then we're going to return JSONify update completed. If it all fails miserably, we're going to return JSONify something went horribly wrong. Cool, 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 cool. All right, let's test this out. Make sure our app is running. We're gonna add a new tab here. You don't have to add a new tab here. I just like doing that because a lot of the times I'll go back and forth between them. And we have a put. Let's grab our URL. Paste it in. And ours was update book ID. This one. Update book ID. And our ID, I'm going to do the first one, Harry Potter. So what we have to do is we have to grab our JSON. That's what I do. We go to the body, we go to the raw, we go to the text, we get JSON, paste it in. So I actually want to do the Way of Kings because that's already added in, and that is number 4. So just because that's going to be easier. And I'm going to say Way of Kings, exclamation point, Brandon Sanderson, exclamation point. Now, if we send that, we have our update completed. And if we get the book, we send that, then you can see it was updated. Way of Kings, Brandon Sanderson, yay. Cool, so we now have our full CRUD functionality. We can create, which is the post method. We can get, or we can read, which is this get method. We can read all the books, or we can read just one of the books. We can update, which is the U in CRUD, and we can delete. Awesome. All right, I'll see you in the next video when we're going to build out our front end.